Good morning again. I'd like to welcome everybody to our 77th Howard County Fair. We're going to get started with our 4-H and FFA open meat breeding sheep show. So if you would like to start off Class 1, bring in your yearling ram, I would really appreciate that.
As we start our Shropshire show off this morning in the yearling ram class, we've got a really nice yearling here. He's big and stout made, long in his side. He's level down his top. He's thick enough and adequate. One of the things in this breed, we've just got to keep changing the rib shape in them without going out and getting a hamp to do it. I don't like that crossbreeding, but these sheep are getting better and better in terms of rib, and I think this one's doing pretty well. A really big stout made sheep with plenty of muscle to him. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay, the results of Class 1 first goes to Allison Rolls. Please bring in Class 4 Early Junior Lamb. There's one in that class. Hey.
As we get out here in the lamb class, we've got one that's extremely tall front end. I like the way that he gets up on his front end with some front end extension and elevation up through that neck. He's long in on his top line. A lamb that we'd like to make just a little bit stouter featured at the ground, just a little bit broader in terms of his base, but a really nice skeletal extension in this one. Let's give him a round of applause.
Results of Class 4 first goes to Ashley Fuss. Please bring in your late ram lambs. There should be two in that class.
As we get on this class of lambs, I think we got two really nice ones. They're long in terms of their side. They're level down their top line, pretty up through their front end. We're just going to start off with a sheep that's a little bit stouter made in terms of his top line. I'd like to change his head just a little bit, but a really nice set. Let's give him a round of applause.
have a hard time. You can keep that one long. I know you'd like to. We all would like to do that. We're now ready for the champion ram. Please bring in your champion open rams and then the 4-H.
As we get out here in our champion drive in the open division in the Shropshires, I think we've got some really nice sheep, and I think y'all are doing well with them. I mean, from what I see a lot of times when we go to these county fairs is we end up with some really flat ribs and some really tight coming out of that heart, and it was all in a quest to try to get them as tall as we could, and we had some structural integrity issues with that when we got to our feet and legs, but I think this set really is a nice set. I think they're really good. We don't see a whole lot of hemp influence like we do a lot of times when we go around the country, but for me there's just one that's stouter made. Even if you look at maturity, when you get right in the center of his body, your yearling's going to be your champion and your late's going to be your reserve. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay, our results of our champion ram in the open. First went to Allison Rolls with her yearling ram, and the reserve was the late ram exhibited by Ashley Fuss. And 4-H, the champion ram, went to Allison Rolls with her yearling ram. Congratulations to both of you. Okay, we're now ready for class 10, yearling ewes. There should be 1, 2, 3 in that.
As we get out here in our yearling ewe class, I think we've got 3 really nice sheep. There's a little difference in their type and kind. There's one of them out here that I think just combines everything we're looking for. She's big in her ribs, she's long down her top, and she's definitely the biggest, most massive down her top. When you look at her in terms of her rack and the dimension of that rack and the way it lays into that rib, I just think she wins this class really easily. As we come in down seconds, a ewe that's got a lot of body to her. I do like that curvature of that rib. I like that width and dimension in the center of her body. She's nice and full down her top, but I think when you look at her right over the top of her upper hip and her skeletal skeletal build, she can't beat the ewe above her. She's a little bit more piecey in terms of where her neck sets into her shoulders. She wants to come out just a little bit lower. It's not bad, but we just like to put it back into her, give her more of this line, this ewe that starts the class with in order to get her up here. The ewe in third, some people would come in here and use her. She's going to be more framier style, more feminine in her making design up there front end. But for me, she's the narrowest in terms of her feet and legs. When you look at her in a natural stance, she's just the narrowest down her top. Her pin set needs to flare out and just be a little bit bigger constructed in that upper part of that hip for me. Let's give them all a round of applause.
Pair up your yearlings, please. Results of Class 10, where first went to Ashley Fuss, second and open went to Allison Rolls, and first in 4-H went to Allison Rolls, and third was Ashley Fuss. Results of Class 11, pair of yearlings, first goes to Ashley Fuss. We're now ready for Class 15, early junior ewe lambs. There should be 4 in that.
As we get in this class, is you get at an age where some of them are starting to thicken out, some of them aren't, and that's what I was asking really what the age is, if this is an early, what y'all consider early. We're going to start the class off with the one that I find to be the most combination. I think she's got some length aside, some size and scale, and some elevation, but I think when you get right over the top of her and you look at that center of body and that width and dimension down her top, you get your hands on her, you analyze how wide she is, I think she comes to the top of the class. The really interesting sheep's the one that comes in second. It just kind of comes to how much is she going to thicken up as she starts to mature. She's right there in what we call the teenage years. She's definitely elegant in terms of her front end. She's got the best extension and profile. Just right now today, I've got to try to read into her. Is she going to get enough center of body to be able to beat the ewe that we start the class with? As we move down in thirds, another one of the later maturing ewes that I really like her top line. She looks really good from afar. When you get right over the top of her, I just need to make her just a touch wider. I think when you get right down at the ground, she needs to be pulled apart. And definitely, it's hard to say, but the biggest, thickest bodied sheep is the one that we put in fourth. She's the best in terms of her rib, but I also read her to be in the quickest maturing. I read her to be in the plainest in terms of her design. I'd like to give her a little bit more look and femininity and show quality about her, but when you talk about a breeding piece, this may be the best breeding piece in the class because she's got that big round center of body and she still holds her breed type together. Let's give them a round of applause.
Okay, we're now ready for late lambs. Results of class 15. First in open and 4-H went to Allison Rose. Second in open was Ashley Fuss. Third was Ashley Fuss. And fourth was Allison Rose with a second in 4-H. We should have one late ewe.
As we get out here in our late lamb class, I think we got a female that's really elegant. She's nice and clean up through her front lines. She's beautiful in terms of her neck and femininity. She's pretty down her top line. She's a ewe that we got to wait to see how much thickness and production we get into her, but she's definitely framing out and she's got a lot of grow in her. Let's give them a round of applause.
We're now ready for a pair of junior ewes. Junior lambs, sorry. Should be 3 of those. Okay, we're now ready for Class 18 champion. Please bring your open and 4-H animals to the ring.
As we get out here in our champion Shropshire U-Drive, I think we've got some really nice individuals and some impressive individuals in terms of the amount of body that they carry. These are big enough, they're stout enough and tall enough. They don't need to be any taller, but yet they put some body into them and corrected some feet and leg issues that the breed really has an issue across the country on. For me, there's just a couple of them out here that are just a little stouter made, and I just think there's one ewe that just kind of puts it together the best. She's the longest in terms of her side. She's the prettiest in terms of her front end. She's the biggest in terms of her rib. Our yearling's going to be our champion, and our early lamb's going to be our reserve. Let's give him a round of applause.
Okay, we're now ready for Class 20, pair of both sexes. Results of Class 18, Champion U and Open went to Ashley, yearling, Fuss's yearling U, and Allison Rose was the champion 4-H. The reserve also went to Ashley with her ewe lamb. Please bring in your pair of lambs, both sexes. Okay, we're now ready for twins. Results of Class 20, pair of lambs, both sexes. First went to Ashley Fuss, third went to Ashley Fuss, second went to Allison Rolls, and first in 4-H was Allison. Please bring in your twins. Okay, so do you have a pair, Ashley? do you have pen of 4? Okay, please bring that to the ring. Morning, Larry. Allison, do you have a pen of 4? Okay. No.
I don't know if I have all that, so who can I find out?
Well, I gave some to Lily for the show.
She goes, well, she handed them to me, and I'm like, well, they'll let me know. I can get them.
I mean, she should help.
Oh, absolutely, she should have. Well, I know you did yours. And Lily told me that, I'm like, oh. Her mother was collecting them.
Maybe she can't remember.
Is she hearing better? She feeling better?
Aniston, she's here.
Not feeling better?
She's behind us. She had bad enough headache
Well, I
to
tell
throw
you
up
what,
last night. She gets,
somebody threw up in the sink down there in that bathroom. Oh my God.
don't talk about it. Please don't talk about it.
Oh,
I'm not
it
right
almost
upstairs.
took me out.
Okay, well, don't talk about it. I'm upstairs at the tippy tops of things. I'm just working on keeping things nice and straight.
Okay, so
Oh,
this,
does that little boy know he doesn't have three bullies in?
hello boy. No, but
You want me to go tell him?
yes. Tell him he was in the Supreme the other day. Bradley. It's pretty nice looking tree here. They're in a bay looking bump. I have to, well, the pants were really nice and smooth on this. Yeah, they were too cool. These are nice. Those flocks have been nice. All right. So she's got to get. She must have a get too. Okay, we're now ready.
Girls,
Is this the, that was their get, right? Okay. All right, that concludes our Shrop breed. Thank you very, very much. You did an excellent. That's a young flock. That's young flock. Yes. Sorry, that wasn't in the program. But you're right. Go right ahead.
Is Allison
he's there for pictures. He wants pictures with the judge.
Oh, that's right.
Is he in a hurry to leave?
If all Supreme Drive animals would work their way to the ring, we'd like to get started in the next 10, 15 minutes. So we're going to start with the open ram, and then we'll go to the 4-H ram. Okay, we'd like to get started with our Supreme Open Ram. So if you had a 4-H champion that was in open also and one that comes in the open show first. So we'd like to start off if you could bring the Katahdin Ram first up here, then the Hampshire, the Dorset, all the breed, and then the Strop. Hey, Doug, face them that way. I'd like to introduce our Supreme Champion exhibitors. This is Doug Brewer up here with the big white Katahdin Ram, Olivia Bloom with her Hampshire, Wyatt Carter with his Dorset Ram, Ashley Fuss with her, Greenbrier Acres. And at the end is Allison Rolls with her Schropp, and Aniston Tide with her commercial ram. These animals were all judged in the last 2 days, and were the grand champion of each one of their breeds. The judge is now going to evaluate these animals to how they would be if they were in another show, like a national show, how they would compare and compete against them in his thoughts. So then he will pick the Supreme Champion of the Howard County Fair for this year. As you can see, he's done a very good job of selection. These are all very good champion animals of their breed.
As we get out here in our Supreme Ram Drive, I think we've got 6 individuals out here that are really nice. It's different in types and kind and different in breed standards for each one, but at the end of the day, all of these are supposed to be for meat composition, and carcass merit really counts here. But one of the things that I hope that you see out here is each one of them somewhat level in their top line. They got some length aside and some extension through the front end, and all showing a little bit of masculinity to them for their age in terms of their head. We started off with our hair here that's a really nice, big, bold made, wide down his top. He's got a deep loin edge, and for his breed, I think he's pretty good on his feet and legs. He's level down his top line. He's really masculine, big in the center of his body. We get down to our little Hamp Ram. He's definitely long-sided. A sheep that we could take and make him a little bit smoother in terms of his transitions, but he's big in terms of his hip. He's good on his feet and legs. He's got a really good touch and hide to him. As we get down in our Dorset, I think it's a sheep that's really nice. He's beautiful down his top line. He's long and extended up to his front end. I think for a sheep that airs on the side of frame that he's really good on his feet and legs. He's big in terms of his hip. We get down in our Dorper, and we got a nice Dorper. It's got some composition to him, some center of body. For his breed, he's clean in terms of his shoulder, in terms of his breastplate, and the way that he sticks out there. A sheep that we might change just a little bit out in terms of his hip. Just keep working on those hips, getting them a little bit bolder and heavier constructed on that top part. As we get down in our Schropp, we got the most massive and mature ram in the class. He's big in terms of the center of his body. He's big and deep and bold, and he's long and level. A sheep that maybe we could give him a little bit more composition when you get him out here in terms of his rear leg. And then the Weather Sire here that's really long and extended up to his front end. But for me, there's one that just kind of, when you stand back and you look at him and you look at silhouettes in the line, our champion's going to be our Dorset. Let's give him a round of applause.
Do you know that?
Our Supreme Champion Ram is exhibited by Wyatt Carter. Congratulations, Wyatt. He is also our Supreme Champion 4-H. Okay, we're now going to do the Supreme Champion 4-H.
As we get out here in the Supreme Ram 4-H Drive, we've got 5 individuals out here, and this is really what these shows are about. We have the open shows to keep the numbers up and keep the shows going, but really if we don't get the junior numbers up, then we're not going to have a show in 15 or 20 years. So my hat's off to you all. You know, when people give a round of applause, it should always be for the kids. Let's give them a round of applause. We come out here and we just did the open show, and so we know which sheep's going to win. But I think all of them are nice, and I think, you know, I think it's interesting that where I come from, everybody's trying to pick different breeds and make them all look like a Hamp Market lamb. Doesn't matter whether they're supposed to be frame type, breeding type, whatever. They all got to look a Hamp Market lamb. And I think it's interesting, the state fair, y'all got a kid that shows a set of myotonic goats every year, and there's people making fun of him and he's showing those bad goats. But I think it's interesting when a kid can find something he likes or she likes, and they go off and they just pursue that and make the best of that breed. And so I encourage you all, don't get caught up in the social deal and the pressure to do this and that. I love the fact that you come over here and you have different breeds, and the breeds can look different and they can have different purposes. And so my hat's off to each one of you for picking your breed. Our Supreme Champion's going to be our Dorset here again. Let's give him a round of applause.
Our Supreme Champion in 4-H is exhibited by Wyatt Carter, with also the Open Supreme Champion.